My friends, there's something that we must all discuss together to really figure out the mystery. Is Ed pregnant? Many people don't want to discuss this topic or even want to acknowledge it. The reasons behind not discussing it and not making any kind of dialogue around it is because of the controversy it might ensue among the community. It's a really hot button issue about whether Ed is pregnant or not. I'm under the belief that he is pregnant, but a lot of the community doesn't want to acknowledge it. Between Bishop Wyatt, Willem Gloryhole, and many other people of the community, they don't want to acknowledge the fact that Ed is pregnant. I believe that Ed is pregnant, so should everybody else. Because based on the facts and logic that I have discovered and I will present in this video. If you enjoy what I do, consider liking and subscribing, and I appreciate that tenfold. Now, Ed here, as you can see, wears no shirt almost every single time the police appear. Now, why might that be? It's based on my knowledge that Ed does not wear a shirt because it is uncomfortable for him. His large, pregnant belly just can't handle shirts anymore and he needs to go topless at all times. Please keep yourselves calm for the rest of this video. I know Ed appears breedable and that he appears very fertile, but this is a fair warning. Do not go seeking Ed. Do not go 339 Lloyd. Do not do any kind of action. I'm not responsible for anybody who becomes too aroused or attracted by Ed's nice, good looks. Let's talk about the signs of pregnancy and go through each little bullet point on this website I found on betterhealth.com. The first bullet point being missed periods. Now, it can be assumed that Ed has not had a period in quite some time now, considering the fact that there are no signs of tampons or any kind of ladylike items in Cyraxx's room or around 339 that we can speak of. So if he is no longer using tampons or pads because of his pregnancy, if he wasn't pregnant, he would have, you know, red stuff all over his pants, especially in this particular scene, which clearly daytime is midday. Ed has been walking around the house for a while and there's no kind of stains or anything below the belt. He looks completely clean down there. So that's under the belief that he's pregnant and he can no longer have periods or any kind of stains relating to that subject. Now, the next bullet point we're going to be looking at is morning sickness, but it can happen at any time. This includes nausea and vomiting. Now, we never see Ed vomit or appear very nauseous on any kind of video, except he does look really roughed up, like he has vomited before, if not multiple times a week. If you look at this particular screenshot of Ed here, he doesn't look so good. He looks roughed up, and I think it's the combination between pregnancy and handling Cyraxx is just getting to him. So all in all, I think the nausea and vomiting is definitely happening behind closed doors, and we just don't see it, because Ed probably holds all that down in his big gut. Anyway, so the next point that we need to go over is breast enlargement and tenderness. Now, it's very obvious that Ed does not have breasts. He's a very bare-chested man that doesn't carry any kind of mommy milkers on his body. However, I will say that this is likely due to an overuse of his breast tissue and drainage of milk. Now, you may be asking, who is drinking all of Ed's milk? What are they doing with it? How are they doing all this? Well, the answer is quite clear, my friends. They're using Ed's milk to fuel their cereal habits, to use it for coffee, cereal, any kind of recipe that Ed or Sally wants to make. It's just like that. It's simple as that. They're just consuming all of Ed's breast milk and they're just moving on with their lives. They don't really think too much about it, and that's why Ed appears so dry and bare. Now, this brings us to our next point, which is fatigue. Now, it's very obvious to everyone that Ed doesn't seem to have a lot of energy in him. His main source of energy coming from perk 30s that he pops on a daily basis. I think it's very reasonable to assume that most of Ed's energy does not come from he himself, but the perk 30s that he consumes. And it's a really strange thing. It causes a lot of weird habits with his teeth and his mouth and the way that he moves. I'm not sure how much energy he has. I don't know if he could walk a mile. Then again, he's pregnant. He probably shouldn't walk a mile anyway. He shouldn't be doing anything. It's really sad that he has to defend his home with a paintball gun. It's really sad that this is all happening to a pregnant man like he himself. He's very similar to a male seahorse, and I'm not sure exactly how he was able to manage to get pregnant like a male seahorse. However, it is an impressive feat that I think all of us need to consider in possible pregnancies in the future. Now, I think it's smart for us to move on to a different subject of his pregnancy, and that's his physicality and his appearance. Now, it's obvious to all of us, and I've mentioned it multiple times in this video, that Ed has a very large stomach that carries the baby within him. If we look at this pregnancy chart, we will clearly see that Ed is indeed 7 to 8 months pregnant. Now, what's strange about this is that he hasn't given birth yet, and he's had this stomach for quite some time now. And many of the detractors will often say he has not given birth yet, and he will never give birth to this child because he's not pregnant. I say no. And the reason behind that is because of who the father is and the basic biology of goblins. It's with a heavy heart that I inform all of you that the father of Ed's unborn child is indeed Chance Wilkins. We're going to be delving deeper into that subject. However, we must pay in mind that goblins do not get pregnant the same way that humans do. He's a mythical creature and thus doesn't work by real-world principles or any kind of honesty or truth. It's also known that Cyraxx has a profanity towards stepfathers and the like. And who is the closest stepfather of Chance? That's right, Ed. And why is Ed pregnant? Because Cyraxx made him that way. And because Cyraxx doesn't live in truth and he doesn't live in reality, Ed will be pregnant indefinitely for as long as Cyraxx would like him to be. Because that is how goblin biology works. That is how Chance Wilkins' world works and functions on a daily basis. Ed is pregnant forever, and Cyraxx gets to keep his mate near him at all times because Ed would need Cyraxx to take care of that child for him one day. Ed cannot take care of a goblin child by himself, and thus relies on Chance to stay at his side at all costs. This also explains other things that have occurred, such as Ed's willingness to defend Cyraxx's honor and pride, and to try and fight the trolls with him, and explain a lot of the situations that have occurred in Chance's life to police officers to hopefully assist Cyraxx from these trolls that harass him daily. And it's with the goblin magic that he is pregnant forever until otherwise. Now, I hope you enjoyed this silly little video I made. I thought this was really weird and funny to make. This is just a big joke that I wanted to pull, you know, because I love Ed, I love Cyraxx, I love all that stuff. And I just thought it'd be different to do. I want to do funny stuff. I want to talk about cool things like Ed's pregnancy and all that. But let me do my shout outs. Now, I'd like to shout out Cloak, Bucky, O Oversoul, Lord of Worlds, Mr. Super Perfect Soul, It's Kamala's World, Perk 39, Honda Civic, D. Wilkins, Saggy Raggy, Ashy, Nihilit, The Black Pearl, Miss Moody, Proto Kino, ML Pruitt, The Otaku Otter, M Spark 400 Smith, Nolan, Enigma, The Black Dragon, Tranter, Edward Walden Hain, Jonah Hex, Capim, Claudio Diaz, Paul, Shiny Piggy, Cyraxx's delicious rock edible Dorito bag. I fucking can never say that one. Merville, Flawed Spirit, Elijah Webster, David Jack, Nuxie Chan, Some Stoner 69, Ya Baby Boy David the Black Dragon, Zerl Champion, David Dash, Cousin of Clyde Cash, TJ Bender, STFU Noob, Greek Girl, hold on. Mike McDermott, XL Banshee XL, Digital Dream, Mid-10 Pews, Benny, the Reverend Woodrow Wilson, Sandra Butler, Eyes of Deceit, Haley Cantaloupe Cakes, Raziel Faustus, Princess Keys, Roboto San, Jeb Babushka, Jack Flash, Gecko Namer, Bakano Sensei, Nocturnal Arrow, Shala, Poofy Mooncakes, NFA Fubba, Wild Weaver Gaming, Ice Swallow, Joe Freeman, Only Wise Hermit, Salty Wizard, Council 8 Neko Division, Mama Becky, Chuntruck, Apocalypse Now, David's Waffle House, Nico Suave, Starscream, Punky Squirrel 666, AJ's Adventures, Cavid, MTG Kitty, Cenobite Tacos, Scroll, Miss Nernatrix, Miriam Suzanne, Heretic 343, Gilliam, Sweaty Prolapse, Ripped Pantyhose, Big Schniz, Jimmy, Costas, Pukadoo, Wolfgang, Rax Corp, Chance's Therapist, Silas, Easy Street, Itchy Gene Attels, White 7 Mike, Momar, Critty, Red, Atomic Renegade, Christopher Zazel, Walter Kirschler, Mechanic Drew, Asterati, Trip, M3 Kita, Puff the Vengeful Dragon, Xander Nova, Jamegum, Jakius Sid, Fill Me Up Dude, Blues No Clues, JC, Jessica, Anthony Howard, Devin Castro, Fall Autumn, Timothy McGettigan, Drew York, Nick Cliff, Daniel Thuba, The Sludge Count, Sierra Hinneberry, Pearl the Vixen, Juan Diaz, Mark Pina, Nina Oops, Pepe the Wise, Danger Peep, Masashi LMG, Jojo's Woodshed, 666, Merrick, Evan Reed, Archimedes, Banshee Jack, Zippity Doodah, Snarky Guy, Icarus, and Light of Alpha. Thank you all for your memberships. 139 of you beautiful people. Now, if you made it this far, you're beautiful too. All of you are. Thank you so much for your support, and bye-bye.